Your local source for DirecTV, HD TVs installation is David Benjamin's High Tech Direct. It's David Benjamin's High Tech Direct TV Sports Zone. Here's your host, Buddy Pearson.
Welcome back to Sports Zone. You know, there's all kinds of championship games going on around the Upper Cumberland. Of course, you had Cookeville High winning the 6th AAA championship against White County, but that was played over in Coffee County. The Cookeville High Cavaliers will be hosting Friday night. They'll be hosting, I think it's Cleveland. It's going to be at the Cookeville High Gym, so you want to come out and check them out, 7 o'clock. Check out the Cavalier boys, who's going to be playing at home in the first round of the region. And then just up the road in Livingston, well, there was the 7A championship, and the girls had 2 powerhouse teams. Of course, it's always Jackson County. It's always Clark Range. It's always a good game. And, of course, we were there. Check out some of these highlights. Well, the District 7A Girls Championship was another classic matchup between 2 powerhouse teams in Jackson County and Clark Range. And this matchup in Livingston was everything everyone thought it would be. The Lady Blue Devils jumped out to an early advantage in the first half before Clark Range's big center Carly Dickens took over in the third quarter as the Lady Buffaloes built a 6-point lead. But the defending state champs came back as District MVP Caroline Warden erased the deficit by herself for Jackson County by scoring 7 straight points to give JCHS the lead for good in the fourth quarter. The Lady Blue Devils then held off the hard-charging Lady Buffaloes for a 58-51 victory. Jackson County will host Gordonsville on Friday night in the region tournament. Well, the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagle men and women haven't exactly wrapped up OVC champions yet, but the women have a very good chance because all they have to do is beat Jacksonville State this Saturday night at the Eblen Center, and they are the regular season Ohio Valley Conference champions, outright, undisputed. They will be the champs, but they had a chance to do that earlier last week. Check it out. Next up with Lady Govs of Austin Peay, and a win over them would give TTU the outright championship. But the Lady Govs were ready to spoil the party. The 2 rivals battled tooth and nail for almost 40 minutes, swapping leads 21 times, with the game being tied 11 times. Then the Lady Govs were able to pull away. Tech shot the ball poorly from the field and from the free throw line and was out-rebounded for the first time in several games. In falling 63-57, Hetty led TTU with 12 points, while Brandon Jordan had 11 and Hayes finished with 10. And the men may not win an OVC championship, but they are gearing up for an OVC tournament championship, and they have been playing pretty good basketball of late, and that included a win over Gardner-Webb in the Bracket Buster game. Check it out. Well, the Golden Eagles hosted Gardner-Webb in an ESPN Bracket Buster game at the Eblen Center, and even though it was a non-conference game, it was an exciting one for the fans. TTU jumped out to a 29-23 advantage in the first half before falling behind by as much as 7 in the second half. But the Golden Eagles came soaring back with the help of Judd Dillard and Kevin Murphy to slip by with a 60-58 triumph over the Running Bulldogs. Murphy finished with 16 points, while Dillard posted a double-double with 13 points and 12 rebounds. Zach Bailey added 10 points in a winning effort.
You're watching the David Benjamin High Tech Direct TV Sports Zone.
I also will my private jet, my island in the Maldives, and full control of the family business to my soulmate, Angel. Finally, to my only son, Chauncey, I bequeath my DirecTV and its vast collection of 6,000 shows and movies.
DirecTV now gives you instant access to 6,000 shows and movies at no extra charge.
Yeah! Whoa! Thank you! Yeah!
Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
The personal pet for sports fans is here. My Adorable Is can be a Titan, a Steeler, a Volunteer, but it's not just football, Izzy's. Basketball, baseball, bowling, hockey, golf. There is a personal pet for you. My Adorable Is inside the Highway 111 Mini Mall and Flea Market in Rickman or myadorableiz.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Zone. You know, we're going to take a step back from basketball for just a minute because we had a very special guest come to Cookeville, a former Tennessee Tech football player who you could say is out of this world. Check it out. And joining us, a very special guest here in the Sports Zone. Not only did he play football at Tennessee Tech, not only did he graduate from Tennessee Tech, oh, by the way, he just happens to be an astronaut who went up in space. It's Barry Butch Wilmore, and I know you're here for the chamber stuff, but we'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little football, especially since you're a former football player.
Absolutely. How about that Jacksonville State game, huh?
What about that?
You know, I listened to it. I live in Texas, so I can't actually make it to all the games, but I listened to it, and it was a thrilling time. Let's sit there and listen to it on the web, and yeah, I was doing backflips in my chair. It was great. It was fantastic.
You know, last time we saw you...
nice job, team, by the way.
Yeah.
Good job.
Way to go, Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles.
Last time we saw you was at Texas Christian. You were giving a
Right.
demotion to the team. You were speaking to the team.
Right.
And, of course, you know, that game didn't turn out the way the Jacksonville State did. But getting to watch the Golden Eagles squad, I mean, how cool was that, seeing some of these guys?
I was there. They let me go on the sideline. They were very gracious. They played a good game. I mean, it's hard. I think we had, 4 fumbles on their side, on our side of the field, right in front of their goal, scoring goal line, and 1 interception. You take those 5 plays out, and it was a much closer game than the score showed. Yeah. So I thought they played absolutely. I mean, they played very, very well. But, like any team, you can't have those kind of turnovers on the wrong end of the field especially and expect the score to be close. But it was a much closer game than the score showed. That was my opinion. But it was a great place to be.
Well, let's go back 26, 27 years to when you were playing football at Tennessee Tech.
Wow.
That's what they tell me. That's what the bio said. Can you believe how long it's been? And what was it like playing football at Tennessee Tech back then?
I have said this before. I loved playing football. I loved it. I mean, I was one of the rare ones. Believe it or not, I love to practice. Yeah. I love playing football. And I love playing football at Tennessee Tech. I mean, my dad had gone here. My brother was here. I had a lot of heritage here as far as other relatives that had gone here. And this is the school that I wanted to come to. I mean, I came here primarily for the engineering, for the engineering school. And I actually walked on. I didn't get a scholarship here, and I actually walked on and played all years. And I wouldn't change it for anything. We didn't win a bunch of ball games when I played, but it wasn't always about winning. The good book, the word says, play to win. It don't say winning's what you got to do. Right. But we played to win, and sometimes we fell short. But I developed some relationships, some guys that I'm here with today that I played ball with, and I love those guys. And, you don't have that unless you get out there on the battlefield, it seems. You don't have that kind of relationship, and that's kind of the way it was. And I loved it. I love playing here.
You might not have had a lot of team success, but personally you had some success. You were all conference. Then in 2003, you became a member of the Tennessee Tech Sports Hall of Fame.
Let me tell you.
Hey, what's bigger, seeing, going up in space, Tennessee Tech Sports Hall of Fame?
Well, you're going to be surprised. There is not a bigger award in my mind than for my university to acknowledge the fact of, I played football, obviously, but I also majored in electrical engineering, and the two don't mix. Yeah. And I've said it many times, what I remember about college was a lot of pain because the demands of football and the demands of that major, it was very, very difficult. And for my university to say, hey, we see that you put a lot of effort in the classroom, you put a lot of effort on the football field, and that is the biggest honor I could imagine receiving in the flesh in this life.
Really?
Without question. There's nothing. I mean, I've gotten, in the time in the Navy, the timing's been well as far as having to play a role in certain conflicts that you don't want to do, but if it has to happen, you're there and, received air medals and those different they don't even compare to being selected to the Sports Hall of Fame. By far, it is the biggest honor I've ever received. No doubt.
Really?
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, we had a chance to see when you went up in space. You had the Tech football. You had your TTU stuff. What was it like being up there? I mean, I'm sure that was kind of a lifelong dream to finally get up in space.
The space flight is amazing. I mean, as far as an event that you can do, again, in the flesh, in this body, I can't think of something that's more thrilling, exciting, rewarding than leaving the planet. I mean, and what you get to do, go to the space station, and 0G is unbelievable. It's a hoot. It's just fun. And getting to experience that for several weeks, and, I mean, literally not touching the ground, you know, it's just amazing. And I feel it's the most humbling event of my life, too, because I've said this before, there's been 526 or so humans to leave the planet in all of time. I was the 505th human. Right. And I know there's a lot of people that I've met over the years that would love to have the opportunity. Yeah. And for whatever reason, the good Lord allowed me to have the opportunity. And it's very humbling when I think about what I experienced and what I got to take a part in, something so huge for our nation. And to play a role, this role in that, it's a very, very humbling thing.
You know, do you feel like you're a role model as far as a student athlete goes? Because here you played football, and obviously you excelled in the classroom too. And to show some of the kids these days what you can do, not only excelling, you know, in a sport, but with your degree. I mean, do you feel like you're a role model?
That is a tough question. Do I feel like I'm a role model? I hope that I'm a role model for my daughters. You know, that they trust that Daddy's going to do what Daddy says, more so than anything else, that Daddy's a man of his word. He says that if I do this, I'm going to pay the price for it, and, you know, and raising them along those. I hope when they're grown that they appreciate their daddy for being that. That's first and foremost. But a role model for these kids in school, that's a tough question to say. I mean,
because you talk to players. I mean, you know, you do. You go and like you came in the tech locker room. I mean, you talk to the guys.
I did, and what I hope that it's encouraging to say, hey, you can play this game, and you can love this game and play this game and excel at this game, and you can still do well in the classroom. It ain't easy. Yeah. You're going to have to put a lot of work in, but let me tell you, it's worth it because it set the foundation for the rest of my life. I know my life wouldn't have turned out the way it had it not been for a solid foundation that I got here at Tennessee Tech, with all those things we've already talked about combined. There's no doubt about it, no doubt about it. And if that encourages someone, fantastic. But, you know, if it doesn't, I mean, that's not why I'm here to begin with. But, you know, if the Lord can use that to encourage someone in that way, that's great.
Well, no, obviously the university is proud of you. You've come back. You spoke at graduation. You're here at the Chamber event tonight. So probably as much as you're as proud of TTU is very proud of you, I know.
Well, I tell you what, when I graduated, I know I had some professors that would have never dreamed, this guy's going to give the commencement address. You got to be kidding me. Are you kidding me? That was an honor, too. It was an honor to do that. Yeah, and I appreciated Dr. Bell and the other committee members that asked me to come and do that. It was an honor indeed. Yeah.
And we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you. All right.
And that's going to do it for Championship Week. Once again, congratulations to the Upperman Bees for wrapping up their first district championship since 2004. Also, congratulations to those Cookeville High Cavaliers for wrapping up the 6th AAA championship. And we're going to see next week if those Golden Eagle women at Tennessee Tech, if they could wrap up the OVC championship outright. For Mike Allen, I'm Buddy Pearson saying God bless, hit them straight. We'll see you next week right here in the Sports Zone.
It's David Benjamin's High Tech Direct TV Sports Zone.